Two proud schools draw the curtain on their rugby season this afternoon as Tygerberg travel to Brackenfell in what is the final fixture of the 2018 FNB Classic Clashes series. FNB takes players from grassroots to greatness, and today we are most certainly at the grassroots at this young derby, just 10 years of age. So young because both of these schools used to play other opposition, but over time those fixtures became uncompetitive, and these two star-crossed educational institutions then chose each other to be their final destination on their rugby calendar. And what a choice that has proven to be. Plainly, the weather conditions are inclement this afternoon, although there was rain earlier, so it does look brighter than it previously did. Brackenfell is a school which provided us with the likes of Cheslin Colby and Courtnall Skosan, two of the most explosive players to come out of South Africa in at least the last decade, in my humble opinion. And here is Tygerberg, a school that gave us Eben Etzebeth, Justin Geduld, and Joano Augustus, who will without a doubt be taken to the Newlands Park in a few hours this afternoon. So two proud histories, especially so the recent histories. Over the course of this derby, the 9 that have been played, Tygerberg have won 6 and Brackenfell 3. However, Tygerberg got on their winning run early on, and Brackenfell have won the last 2 fixtures, and winning the last one by 58 points to 0. And here is the Tygerberg starting lineup. Do keep an eye on Tandile Hoy, vice captain of the side, who was in the Western Province Academy side in 2017, and this year is involved in the extended Western Province Under-19 squad. Also, their captain Edja de Meyer was in the Academy week of 2018. And taking a look at Brackenfell, the number 10 and 11 are to be watched out for. Raven Smith has been with the Western Province Union since the age of under 12 and all the way through. And Marcune Titus was on the wing for the Craven Week side for Western Province this year, and he scored at least one humdinger of a try. This is the Tygerberg side making their way out onto Brackenfell's fields. Clad in their green and gold. The younger teams play in white jerseys with green and gold stripes. The captain, Edja de Meyer, according to me, will be in the number 7 jersey today. That is their number 8 on screen. The stands are packed with fans and pupils of the schools, and Brackenfell are making their way onto the park. What an occasion we have on our hands today, a derby day indeed. The festivities have been going on since Monday, where it started with golf. There's been Xbox, there's been old boys and old girls, rugby and hockey. There's been chess, there have been big brags on Thursday and Friday, capping the players and having fun singing with schools together. And today we have the most experienced schoolboy referee in the land, Jonathan Kaplan, with the whistle. Alongside me in the commentary booth today is a priceless personal mentor of mine, but more importantly, an individual who took what can only be described as the match-winning figures of 6 wickets for 32 runs in the final of the Gillette Cup of 1976 at the Wanderers Stadium as Eastern Province overcame Western Province. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gavin Calvi. Gavin, we've got a derby on our hands today, but if you'd like to take some time to gloat, I'm sure we'd all understand.
Oh, I think you've got a very good memory, if nothing else, which has got nothing to do with your youthful age. You've obviously read that somewhere, haven't you?
Absolutely, Gavin, absolutely. Or I'm a time traveler.
Isn't this just a wonderful occasion once again, Paul? You know, just to show that schools rugby in South Africa is very much alive and well. You've outlined the wonderful build-up that we've had during the course of the week, and now in this filthy weather, we've got a situation here where Brackenfell have got the wind at their back, and I'm pretty sure both teams would have given, their coaches would have given some thought to how they actually play this game, given the conditions. Brackenfell really, with the wind at their back, will want to get points on the board.
Kickoff is from Brackenfell, and it's Raven Smith with the responsibilities. Taken in on the touchline by who I have down as HD Stamet. But we will sort out our team sheets shortly. What's more important is the line out to Brackenfell early on.
No, get across. Get across.
Now, Edja de Meyer, the captain of the Tygerberg team, of course, also he's a deputy head boy. So he's a guy with great leadership potential, and playing into the wind, there's lots of work for them to do.
Play, Dar, play.
Charles Pretorius, captain of Brackenfell, throws into the line out. They hold their jumper up briefly to make sure that they can set a good ruck. And what an opening this is for Brackenfell. Good start, clean passing, and J.D. Andreas takes it in the midfield. Setting the ruck. Brackenfell starting on the front foot, cleared by Jordan in the 9 jersey for the young men in the yellow and blue today.
Wait there.
Pass from Jordan. Jordan again. Raven Smith cannot handle. Tygerberg flooding through, trying to make some problems here for Brackenfell. Flooding over the breakdown. Turnover ball for Tygerberg, driving up towards the halfway line now. Showing that defense is the best form of attack at times, and in the end it will be a scrum down awarded by Jonathan Kaplan to Brackenfell.
Well, some really good rucking there from Tygerberg. Unfortunately, they've given up their possession. They got themselves into a good position. Just have a look at this. Over the ball they went, which made sure that they could secure it. And then one of the great difficult situations you have on a wet day in a muddy field is that ball not being able to be released. And it was use it or lose it, said Jonathan Kaplan.
Feed from Brackenfell, that scrum twisting and turning, the pickup from the bases from Mundy, powering his way forward across the gain line. Brackenfell controlling possession early on with a very strong wind at their back, blowing from corner to corner of the field towards the TV screen. Sending it back is Jordan. They're going to use the wind here. Raven Smith leaning one into the corner, using the wind perfectly and driving Tygerberg backwards.
You spoke about him a little bit earlier, the man in picture there, Raven Smith. Just so much good quality, having played provincial rugby since he was 12 years of age. And again, you can see tactically, the wind is slightly across the field towards the corner that we just saw there now. And throwing in the line out, they went middle of the line out last time. It's really important that they don't try and throw it to the back, given this wind situation.
Oakley Conyers with the 3 jersey on, throwing into the line out as quickly as possible, but the power of the wind on display there, shooting the ball back towards their own try line, and a scrum down to Brackenfell.
It's so important to use your what we call the banker ball, the ball in the front of the line out to your first jumper on a windy day like today. Really, it's not a great attacking option, but it's a security option.
At this point, Gavin, they can almost just hurl it into the front of the lineup without lifters, like the old days.
Crouch. Fine. Can you just keep crouch?
Slight advantage to Brackenfell. Attack weights there. But it is certainly all about technique, especially at schoolboy level. You can only drive 1.5 meters, so in order to secure a tight hit, it's all about that early drive and strike.
Lovely little chat there from Jonathan Kaplan to Andeli Hoy, just to say to him, you know, I'll do the chatting on the field. You don't tell me what to do.
No shortage of experience there. Mundy wants to pick up from the base again, fumbled it slightly this time, but still manages to cross the gain line, working the blind side, Brackenfell. Yet to take advantage of the possession and territory. In both of those fields, they have had the advantage. Jordan clears again. Mundy, very heavily used early on here. Sizable number 8 that he is. Jordan again, this time trying to spread it on Brackenfell. Smith slings it wide, and Titus almost drags that one in on his fingertips. But it has gone into touch, and it will be a line out to Tygerberg. No, it won't. We're playing an advantage for offsides. It will be a penalty to Brackenfell. What do you say, Gavin? Kickable position?
You know, they've got Johan Mundy. He's 108 kilograms at number 8. A number 8 on a day like today, a wet day, heavy field, and a man who's got that sort of power. You'll see they'll be using him quite a lot during the course of this game. Again, a wise decision. It's a derby game, you know. It's open to any team to win it, despite what we've seen in history. So kicking at goal, I think, is a wise option. And Raven Smith has got a trustworthy boot too, to try and make sure that they get the 3-pointer.
Plenty of responsibility on this individual on screen this afternoon. And thus far, he really has been showing all of his skills, Raven Smith. Looks very sharp on the attack. Marquine Titus will have to be brought into play as well.
Back, get back.
You know, Paul, just having a look at this too, you know, you've got to have a player standing by to touch or hold that ball, that it doesn't fall over in a wind like today. There's nobody nearby the kicker. Maybe he's confident that he's got it securely lodged on his tee.
Smith puts it up, good strike, over the posts it goes. The first points of the derby go to Brackenfell. He was in the first team last year, Raven Smith, one of the 3 players that was here in 2017 for Brackenfell. Deep restart from Tygerberg, very good kick into the wind as well, and charging back at them is the tireless Johan Mundy, who continues going after the initial hit. Jordan back to Smith. Smith, that kick is too flat. It has been charged down, kept in play, casually so, by Vihan Julies. Can Brackenfell get this ball back? Yes, they can. Men in motion. That's good to see, but Tygerberg had them lined up next to the rack there, driving Brackenfell backwards. Real contested rack time. Eventually, though, a penalty comes the way of Brackenfell, and they have the chance to clear their lines.
Your feet. Come up. That's your mark.
With a wind like this, Gavin, there's almost no excuse to be trapped in your own 22-meter line, is there?
No, but again, it's down to execution. You've got to make sure that you hold on to the ball. Your passing is accurate too. You know, when you've got a trustworthy brute like Raven Smith, he really can do what he needs to do there. But I think Tygerberg have just got to try and absorb as much pressure as what they can. They've given away a couple of penalties, and this was just another one now, with unfortunately going off his feet there was Dion Basson.
Captain Shaw Pretorius, outstanding line-out considering the conditions, fired it into the number 2 ball, and they drive forward to Brackenfell. This rolling maul is slightly upright, eventually does go to ground, and Jordan clears to the impressive Smith. Hits a runner in the midfield. It's Vihan Julies beating a defender and sending a looping pass out wide. He finds a man, it's Arnold Volfart, and Brackenfell are right back on the attack. Smith clears from the base this time. Again, it's Johan Mundy. Mundy wrapped up by 2 players. Loses possession on the ground, and Titus is coming in to involve himself in the play. There was a slight knock-on, and we will have a scrum to the visitors, Tygerberg.
You wouldn't say that it's a windy and a wet day today with the way that Brackenfell have played. They've got a lot of possession to start with in this game, and they've been very accurate. That's the first real knock-on from them. But a lovely run here from Julies. Look for the man. Lovely floated pass too. And certainly the big pressures are coming from Brackenfell. There's no question about that. Mundy once again used as the battering ram there in the midfield. But that little knock-on, sadly, will mean a scrum to Tygerberg. Tygerberg, they're called the Tigers. Brackenfell, well, the Brackies, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Their motto is, I hope for higher things at Brackenfell. While at Tygerberg, they have a simple motto, there is work. And that work is no doubt to be done. We've got an injury on the field. Is that Mundy, the hard-running Johan Mundy? He's really got through plenty of work in the first 9 minutes, 20 seconds. That is, what would you call that? That's where all the old schoolers are watching the game front, the old boys and the fathers and the parents and the mothers, brothers and sisters, all coming down for Derby Day. Here is the head-to-head over the years. That 58 points to 0 in 2017, a humbling loss away from home that Brackenfell delivered to Tygerberg, and they're hoping to put their 4th win here this afternoon, which would bring the record to 6 wins to 4 in favor of Tygerberg still. There in the early running, you see that Tygerberg had the run of things, all too easy for them, but Brackenfell have certainly come back into it. Gavin, before the match we were talking about Ivan Etzebeth being a Tygerberg player, and that when he arrived actually in grade 8 to Tygerberg, he was 1.5 meters tall and he weighed just 56 kilograms. When he left this place, he weighed a cool 125. Just shows you how far you can come in a high school career. He didn't play A-team until after under 16 as well.
Well, I'd love to know what Johanno Augustus, what size he was when he was in grade 8, because he's also a very big boy. He'll be plying his trade this afternoon for Western Province against Free State a little later at Newlands. But this is a really sad situation here for Brackenfell.
Just a tragedy. The school colours even on the strapping over that knee, which appears to be the problem. There may have been a problem coming into the match, considering that strapping. Just tragic for Johan Mundy, who was clearly up for this match.
Yeah, on a day like today, he can be just such a big factor. But so far, if we look at the state of this match as well, at Brackenfell, they've got those 3 points from the penalty. They haven't managed to get over the line yet. And this is another mental thing, Paul, that's really important, you know. The one team's absorbing pressure and watching the clock in the knowledge that they'll play with a win in the second half. The other is trying to get points.
That scrum barely under control, and the penalty does come the way of Tygerberg. Sweet relief for the boys in green. They get the chance to kick for touch. It will be difficult to kick for touch on that side of the field, though. That's where the wind's blowing from.
Yeah, again, very often, you know, the tap and go, just carry it up and set up the next phase of play. You've got to show some level of patience with that where you can. But if they're confident with their line out, Tygerberg, which they weren't just now, you saw it went very skew, then it's a good option. But other than that, tap and go, use the power of your forwards where you can.
This line out is scrappily won by Tygerberg, but one it is, and finally they get the chance to run at the hosts today, Brackenfell. Tandile Hoy waiting behind this ruck. He will not be receiving the ball, though. The pick and go is from Raiden Phillips. Keeping it tight, Tygerberg, cherishing this possession, which they have not had any of really up until this point in the match. Brackenfell challenged them at the breakdown. They seem to be keen on this one, and they do have a turnover ball. Bringing all the initiative to this match thus far, Brackenfell. Justin du Toit on the run this time. And the penalty comes the way of Tygerberg, and the tap and go. Oh, it wasn't from the mark, and Chrism September will have to return.
It was a good option, though, with September, just the quick tap and go, put pressure on Brackenfell and hold on to the position where they can. I'm not sure that Tygerberg are that confident at forward against Brackenfell today. This Brackenfell pack really is a very, very useful one.
That kick is nowhere close to the touchline. Chasing up fields with intensity is JP Mattia, putting it ahead, but here's Titus. Lightning quick Titus is. Space on the outside for Brackenfell. Trying to start a counter-attack, but a thumping tackle on the far side brings the ball back Tygerberg's way. In to receive Chrism September. And Tygerberg finally in the Brackenfell half, making their presence felt. Plenty of big runners on offer, specifically Liam Tattersall in the 5 jersey, weighing in at 117 kilograms and 1.9 meters tall. 1.95 meters tall to be exact. Let me not take those 5 centimeters away from him. Sean Gordon will be going for that touchline again. Kicked well into the wind last time. This one will be a challenge again. It is loopy, it is flat, it is wrong-footed Titus, but it's still in the hands of Brackenfell, who seem keen to run this. No, they do turn to the boot, perhaps wisely so. End of end towards the touchline. What a kick that turns out to be, driving Tygerberg back into their own half.
Yeah, percentage rugby is always the important adage on a day like today, and certainly Brackenfell doing that rather well. We've seen a lot of penalties today, and it's often what you find on a wet and a windy day. A lot of penalties given, and the 2 smallest guys are at half-back on the field for Tygerberg today. They haven't managed to get the ball into touch when they needed to.
Oh, winning that line out and losing control, Dion Basson, giving Brackenfell another chance, and charging forward now is Dylan Fasheer. Jordan keeping things moving, no space on that blind side. Not the best option perhaps, and Vian Julies is bundled into touch rather easily. Again, it will be Oakley Conyers for Tygerberg. Right now the numbers not working out for Tygerberg when it comes to the line out. Brackenfell not buying any deception that Tygerberg would be heading towards the back of that line out. Straight to the 2 ball. Penalty comes their way. Yet another penalty for Tygerberg, really racking them up at this point. Tandile Hoy wants to get things moving, but we are called back by Mr. Kaplan.
Yeah, it had to be taken on the 15-meter mark, which it wasn't. So Hoy just getting his men going.
And going they are now. Hoy marshalling the troops. They're going to have to run this ball into the significant wind, use it to their advantage. Have to control possession, control the clock. So far they've done well. 15 minutes gone and only 3 points against them. This could be great things for Tygerberg. Raiden Phillips met in the midfield. Another penalty against Brackenfell.
Just a little eager there from an offside position. They've given away the penalty.
It's Hoye again, one-handed take from Phillips. More than willing to run into the contact is Raiden Phillips. Vian Meyer finally getting involved. Outside center, but over the ball of Brackenfell. Another turnover this time. Charles Pretorius, their captain. Down the blind side. Has he lost control? The answer is yes, but a penalty advantage. Plenty of penalties flying either way now.
Yeah, there's very good power in this Brackenfell pack, and it's showing. As you mentioned, they're the second turnover for them, and an important one. And the one thing that Raven Smith has done well too is that he's made the right choices when he's got a kick and when he's going to move the ball. And one of the key things I think too is the accuracy of his kicking. He's made sure that he's got the ball into touch when it was needed. And there's the first steal that we saw from Brackenfell.
Charles Pretorius made the turnover, winning possession back for Brackenfell. Continue to lead by just the 3 points. At the front of the lineup, Dylan Fasheer setting the rolling ball now. Can Tygerberg respond upright in their body positions as they do try? Another penalty. But this one is against Tygerberg again, 2 in a row for them now. Each side really giving away plenty of penalties. It would appear Raven Smith is ready to seek the touchline again. No, he is not pointing to the posts. And perhaps the wind might support that kick.
It's a tough decision to make, you know. Ultimately, the captain will make the call and suggest that he kicks. Because he is such an accurate kicker, you know, hopefully they'll get the 3 points. That's needed. But I suppose at the end of the day, what was going through his mind too was, I think we're winning the forward battle. Let's kick it for the corner. But a line-out's a lottery on a day like today. So I'd rather take those 3 points. And once again, Tygerberg caught in an offside position.
Gavin, it's often said that when you have the wind, you need to get over a 20-point lead. Was it perhaps Brackenfell, would they be thinking now they haven't scored enough points with all of the pressure that they've been exerting?
I think it might be going through their head, yes. Again, you know, your forward pack is so important on a day like today, you know. And if they can dominate that, even in the second half when they're playing into the wind, it's easy to carry the ball into the wind. But you know you're going to play a lot of rugby in your own half of the field.
That kick is up, but it's been pushed to the side. The scorelines remain as they are, 3 points to 0. Tygerberg with the 22-meter dropout now. And a howling wind that is launched high. It will be difficult to take. And it is superbly taken by the number 7, Sean Truter. And Brackenfell keen to run again on the counter-attack. Raven Smith stabbing this one through. It looks like it may be slightly long. No, it comes bouncing off the corner post and into touch. Surely, what a kick it has turned out to be. Raven Smith, tip your cap.
Controlling a game at half-back and or at fly half is just so important on a windy, wet day. And we can just see the quality of Raven Smith. That was, again, taking the right option. He's been thinking of what to do. You know, he's moved the ball a little bit, but when he has kicked, it's been accurate.
Pressure on this lineup for Tygerberg. Difficult to put into words. What a feed this time around. Dion Basson rising high. Oakley Conyers feeding. Had a couple of practice runs to get that right, and they certainly get it right at the most pivotal of times for this Tygerberg side, who continue to be stuck on their own try line and playing into a hefty wind. It's going to be difficult to get it out of here. More called, and it will be a scrum down to Brackenfell. Still just the 3 points on the board after 20 minutes of camping outside the Tygerberg half. Look at the hands in the pockets and the looks on the faces if you want to know exactly what this weather feels like.
And the rain comes down again. As expected, straight down into the face of the Tygerberg High School boys. This is where Johan Mundy at number 8 would have been most useful too. Sadly, he's off the field, and that number 7 jersey is now at number 8, is belonging to Sean Truter. But the carrying of the ball is so important on a day like today, and you can pick up from the back of a scrum and make the yardage that you're looking for. And we could well see the first try of the match.
Hefty individual himself, Sean Truter, at 100 kilograms to Mundy's 108. Also have Marcune Titus in position behind the fly-off, looking to make a run. What do they choose? Brackenfell cleared by Jordan. It is Titus that they seek. Titus throws the dummy, trying to slice through a gap. Well tackled though by Vian Meyer. Working them blind again. Brackenfell have the numbers. Over the line, Vian Julies. Try awarded to Brackenfell. They break the duck. It's 8 points to 0 with the kick to come.
Well, some brilliant play, and part of that was the clean out at the ruck that really opened up the space for Brackenfell to allow Julies to get in the corner. They cleaned that ruck so quickly and efficiently, and right on the spot there. Hannah Jordan also doing a really good job in making sure that that ball went through the hands all the way, and a good finish that from Julies with not a lot of room to work in. Now, if you want to see a small miracle, you might witness one now if this kick goes over, because this is a really tough one.
Speaking in terms of physics, I'm not even sure how you would make it happen. Well, the wind is blowing straight towards the corner in which the try was scored, to be as simple as possible.
And Paul, there's nobody standing by to hold that ball if it just manages to flip off that tee. There should always be a player nearby.
With some wobble, the ball holds on the tee, looking for the reverse swing, and enjoying every moment of it was Raven Smith.
There was absolutely no delay with this ball as it moved through. There was the ruck basically quickly cleaned out, and sorry, that was the try that was scored, but the ruck that was cleaned out before that just kept the momentum going for Brackenfell.
On defense and attack, Brackenfell have been winning the breakdown battle, making turnovers when defending and clearing out quickly on the attack. That is the first try that they have to their name. 8 points to 0 their lead. Tygerberg have a chance off that kickoff to start moving forward now. Chadjan Buerta. Hoyi clears. Our first opportunity really to see Tygerberg with a sustained attack, and Byron Strydom goes to ground. Diminutive winger as he is, Hoyi. To the open again. Had a man in motion, JP Mathieu. Hoyi pointing, digging. Desperate for quick ball for Tygerberg. Dummy from Sean Gordon. The Brackenfell defensive line holds strong, however, Tygerberg continue to break the gain line regularly. That one is slightly slowed down, and charging onto it is John Henry Pinar.
Offsides and hard tackle, just wait.
Seems to be a
give you the better one.
Penalty around every corner for both of these sides.
So the penalty there or there? This one?
Jonathan Kaplan says, I'll give you the better one, but he has to make the offer. Penalty there or penalty here. They've got the one that's pretty much straight up front.
Scrum.
Interesting decision.
The penalty was for offside.
Call for a scrum.
They've chosen a scrum.
Wow.
That's your mark. Thank you.
Well, I suppose given the options they have are kicking into the wind into that corner, or kicking for posts, which would be slightly risky.
Yeah, I think both of those options are risky. You're quite right, and you know it is close to midfield, so that's a great field position for a scrum. But they've just got to make sure that they get good front foot ball from this scrum and open up the opportunities for their very, very efficient wingers who've hardly seen the ball in this game thus far.
Well, the supporters of both of these schools are full of spirits, and that was certainly on display during this week with the old boys and old girls playing various sports against each other. Such a great spirit from people currently at the school and after leaving the school, which these derby days really generate.
You know what I really found quite interesting as well is, there's the mascot. And he looks quite relaxed, doesn't he? Old Jocker the Bushveld.
I think they should get him a second jacket going.
Yeah. Brackenfell, very interesting just reading who the heroes are of the players on the field today. And quite often, Quagga Smith's name was mentioned, which I think is a great positive for and a victory for the small man, one could say. Not that he's that small, but, you know, by today's standards. And so good to see what the aspirations are of these young men. All of them with a great desire, of course, to play rugby at a higher level. And, you know, that's where I think people like Evan Etzebeth and Joanna Augustus really provide, you know, the opportunity maybe with their successes for these young men to say, well, you know, we might not be at fashionable schools as they define, but yet we've got the opportunity to potentially playing at a higher level.
Crouch.
Coming off the field for Tygerberg, I believe it's John Henry Pinar, their inside center. Another disappointing end to a day for another one of these Derby players. Breaking open side now, Brackenfell. That was Hanno Jordan, who's been so impressive in the 9 jersey today. He says he plays in the 10 and the 15 jersey as well. Brackenfell running this from deep. Charles Pretorius getting the footwork going. Turning to the boot now with Raven Smith. Looking for green grass again, and he does find it, but it's covered by Chrism September. Decision time for September, surely not. He's taking on a number of Brackenfell players, and they are there to clear out the breakdown. Tygerberg, that was risky from September, but it has paid off. And if Tygerberg can control possession for the final 9 minutes of this half, they can be very happy with the points tally, which they have held Brackenfell down to in the first half, with such a strong wind behind Brackenfell's back. Clearing from the base is Byron Stradom. In the back line is Tandile Hoy. Scrum off for Tygerberg, and they've gobbled it now. Marcune Titus capitalizing on the opportunity. Scramble defense from Tygerberg ensures it does not escalate beyond that, though. Another penalty, this one to Brackenfell. Again in kickable range. They'll be scratching their heads as to what the option is here.
Yeah, Ejidamaya going off his feet there. You know, it's another thing on a wet field is you got to make sure that you do stay on your feet as much as you can. It's another very, very good kick there as well. Just some more pressure on this Tygerberg team, who really just have to do what they can to keep the scoreline down by half-time. I think that Henry Koch, their coach, will be talking to them at half-time, asking more of these packer forwards in the second half.
The weather has not dampened the spirits.
How many?
Here in the northern suburbs of the Cape Town area, rugby continues to be extremely popular.
Let's go, let's go, let's
We have a shoeless this time, thankfully not another injury. This is the final game of the season for both of these schools. A day of such pride for all these young gentlemen who get to take to the field. Their first time on your World of Champions for both of these schools and for this derby. What a day for both teams.
Scrummy out, stay out.
That line out works well for Brackenfell. This is a big opportunity for the boys in the yellow and the blue and the red. Can they consolidate here and drive Tygerberg backwards? Both body positions of the teams not ideal, slightly upright, and as a result, that ball flakes into nothingness. Trying to work the open side now. Here's Raven Smith. The skip pass, and that's the Diedrichs. Diedrichs isolated, and Tygerberg piling in over that ball, particularly JP Mattia. Not supporting his own body weight at the end of that. But all is well that ends well, and Hoy is driving his way forward. Is he held up off the ground, though? Yes, he is. Maul calls, but Tygerberg still making meters. And they do manage to free the ball. It will be Tygerberg possession. As I say that, it will not. Scrum now to Brackenfell. What an enormous opportunity this is, dead center of the field. We are approaching 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Just 8 points they've gained from their dominance. How can they convert?
We saw again there a statistic on which suggests that 9 tackles have been missed by Tygerberg in this game, and that's another crucial element on a wet and windy day, that you make those first-time tackles, get the man to ground so you can apply pressure on the ball that's on the ground.
Just don't go outside him, please. Don't go outside and hit the outside shoulder.
Key question is whether Brackenfell will be comfortable with that 8-0 lead. Bear in mind, it's 35 minutes each way, running time at schoolboy level, so not a lot of time left in this half.
Tygerberg moving forward at scrum time, cannot secure a tight head though. Do wheel the scrum away from the preferred position for Brackenfell, who still tried to work that open side.
He wasn't offside.
Throwing it backwards, J. Lee Andrus. But it is retained by Brackenfell, this time desperately trying to keep the ball in field as Bian Julies, who again goes into touch far too easily. I think that Tygerberg have done very well in managing this game so far, Gavin. 8 points is not too bad considering this win.
They might well be thinking that themselves, and so they should, I think. You know, they've spent a lot of time in their own half of the field. The pressure's been there. Yes, they've given away a lot of penalties, but only 2 of them have really been kickable. So they might feel confident about the second half.
The line out is also coming along, although it is dodgy every time, all due to this wind. Dion Basson carrying it in for Tygerberg. That's their own 10-meter line. Keep their hands on the ball.
First man.
Stemmin carrying it in that time, but it's been turned again for Brackenfell. Diving on the ball, securing possession. Absolutely crucial at this point. This is the captain, Charles Pretorius. He's given it off to Jamie Linus, tackled into touch again. Brackenfell flirting with the touch line far too often. And again, it will be a line out to Tygerberg.
Oh, look at those set pieces turnovers, you know, that, and there's been a few more as well that are not set pieces, that from broken play. And Brackenfell have really, I think, put pressure on Tygerberg, particularly that back and forwards of theirs.
Swinging away after going straight down the line, and you can see referee Jonathan Kaplan there understanding the conditions, is no longer blowing those as being throws which are not straight. It started straight, therefore it is straight, and Brackenfell have their hands on the ball now. Arno Volfart driving forward. Raven Smith, he's got some space to work with the numbers. Well defended by Tygerberg, but can they stop the flow of Brackenfell attack? Dylan Fouchier carrying it forward. Jordan Smith spreading it now to the open side. Diedrichs sends it further. J.D. Andreas. Andreas driving for the line. Andreas over.
Hold up. Hold that up, 5 meter.
Held up is the call from Jonathan Kaplan, and Brackenfell are thwarted once again. Less than 3 minutes to play in the first half now. They've got to be getting desperate.
That's tantamount to match-winning defense. Absolutely outstanding play here. Just have a look at this then. Gordon was involved. They kept that ball up off the ground. 3 Tygerberg players around the ball carrier. An excellent play from them. That saved them 7 points. It might be temporarily, who knows. Excellent defensive work by the men in green and gold.
Yeah, just take your shoulder out. Yeah, he's right. He's right. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Brackenfell have been beset by injuries this year. Their coach tells me that they've used 32 players, that coach being Jan Loopsche. But they are back on form now, and this is Raven Smith. Spreading the ball wide is Volfart. No space on the outside for Julies. That's been the story all day for the right winger. Turnover by Tygerberg. They have a chance on the blind here. Cover defense is punishing. Oh, it is punishing. What a hit into touch there.
Oh, this is some jackal. If we see the tail end of this, and when you put that sort of kick in, you're standing on 1 foot. You're a real target, aren't you?
No hands.
That numbers on the blind side here, Tygerberg. To catching Brackenfell slightly off guard. That pass is not going to do anybody any favors. Whoa, that piece of break from Sean Gordon is magical. Dummying the kick and going to the outside. Tygerberg accelerating onto it here. Had to give the pass. The try was on the outside for Tygerberg, but they retain possession, and it's Byron Stradom now. Dancing feet over there on the far side of the field for Tygerberg, and it's Hoy in the fly half position through the hands of Stemmet. Brackenfell all of a sudden desperately defending their own line just after they thought they were going to score a try. Here's the line out. Artist Oakley Conyers, and it's De Meyer on the outside. De Meyer sends it back for Hoy. Hoy cannot get control.
Hey man, come here.
Is that going to be a penalty try?
Come here.
Let's take a listen to Jonathan Kaplan. What exactly has happened here?
Not releasing in the tackle.
It's going to be a penalty try. Yeah, there was no release in the tackle, and that's considered negative play. So this is a huge boon, this one's got to say, for Tygerberg. Right under the post. There's no need for the conversion. They just carry on, and they're back in this game. They certainly are.
What a fascinating turn of events here. A half that was going all the way of Brackenfell. However, they didn't get enough points for the pressure that they'd been exerting, we feel. And in the end, it's proven to be just that way, as Tygerberg broke all the way upfield, eventually getting themselves a penalty try. And now there's 1 point between the two sides.
Penalty try, you understand? Thank you.
Tygerberg will be full of confidence heading into the second half if there's just 1 point between them, and they have this strong wind behind their backs. Raven Smith launches what should be The final restart of the half. Will Tygerberg kick the touch? Surely they will. Taking chances, but eventually finding a safe touch. That is how the half should end, but it appears that our clock is slightly ahead of that of Jonathan Kaplan. There is the player that has been sanctioned with a yellow card, Sean Truter.
I think 10 minutes of a 35-minute half or a 70-minute match is actually quite a lot too. And Brackenfell, without a very, very effective man now who's in the naughty chair.
They've lost two of their starting loose forwards now, one to injury. One briefly to a yellow card. Edge of the Mayor reaching up and the fingertips turn that back onto the Tygerberg side. Charging forward is Oakley Conyers. That's off to Dion Basson as Tygerberg continue to grow into this match now. The confidence clearly coursing through their veins at this point. Byron Straydom sends it open. The control from Raiden Phillips again, the willing ball runner of the lads in green and gold. Wide from Dion Mayer, numbers on the outside. This is Hoy. Hoy to ground, picks it up off the ground again, and Hoy fighting for each and every inch. Still going forward is Hoy. Held up off the ground now, or more surely yes, and Brackenfell will cherish this. Being a man down, they are all of a sudden desperately defending their own line. Scrum called, it will be to Brackenfell, but will that be the halftime whistle? Schoolboy Rugby, 35 minutes a half. According to us, we've clocked on to 37 now, but there have been two significant injuries. We should keep that in mind. So there may be some discrepancies between our clock and that of the referee. What is certain is this is turning into a nail-biter of a derby. Brackenfell will be completely shocked that they lead by only 1 point after displaying complete dominance. Especially so they fly off Raven Smith.
And their scrum's going to be under pressure with just two of their loose forwards that are not part of it.
Sorry, just break up. Number 8, you must go.
Astute point, Mr. Carly. Jonathan Kaplan there saying that number 8 must go because the schoolboy level you have to have even numbers at the scrum. So if you get somebody sent off with the yellow card, the opposition team needs to take one player out of the scrum. However, of course, that means that backline has that much more potency.
Shoulder out and you hit straight. Shoulder out. Crouch. Bind. Set. Out there, 6.
Most important scrum of the half for Brackenfell, and it does come back their way. Jordan gets it away to Raven Smith. We clearly had the information that would be the final play of the half, and that is the final play of the half, wrapped up here at halftime between Brackenfell and Tygerberg. This young derby, the 10th playing thereof. 6 wins to Tygerberg and 3 to Brackenfell. Right now, Brackenfell narrowly leading at home by 1 try each. 1 point. It's 8 points to 7. Brackenfell over Tygerberg.
What a try!
Okay, Bulle, nou moet ons konsentreer, hoor? Luister, ons speel nou teen die wind. So speel naby aan mekaar en ons moet die bal dra. Ons moet nommers by die bal hê. Rywen. Ons moet seker maak dat ons nader speel. Ons moet seker maak dat ons nader speel en dat ons forwards by die bal kan kry. Reg, en die PD's is aan. Die PD's is aan. Hulle shift die hele tyd en hulle fold nie same side nie. So kom ons maak seker ons kry 'n goeie bal en ons speel kort, selfe kant. Kort lyn staan en ons val die vacuum aan. Maak seker dat julle die vacuum daar aanval. Sit die bal op, dan speel jy same side. Dit sal kom. Julle moet nou geduldig wees en onthou. Ons moet hard werk. Ons moet goeie besluite neem. Ons was daaronder, ons het nie 2 goeie besluite geneem nie. Toe kom hulle te kry dit.
En jy moet dit maak werk. Tweede helfte, same stap. Een kans jy kry, jy moet dit maak werk. Moet.
Okay, luister gou by James, ons om gou vir. Gonna nie actually the breakdown doen. Dis nie dat jy vinnig reageer nie. Dis wat jy doen as jy die breakdown doen. Of ons die bal
Voor quick ball. Sorry, ons speel glad teen ons halfgebied nou. Sien daai hoek daar? Dis waar ons die heeltyd speel. Die heeltyd speel, die heeltyd speel. Okay? Ons speel glad hier met die bal in die hand in die halfgebied nie. Die punt baie daai hoek en ons hou vir hulle hier. Okay? It's up to you.
Hold up, boys. Come on.
Hier soos!
Yes! Ja! Doe dit!
Push! Let's go, push! Push!
Bian.
Halftime talks are being delivered by the coaches of Brackenfell and Tygerberg, these two schools which are playing out a derby in front of our eyes here, which is closely contested. The weather conditions are certainly playing their part in this one-pointer. Brackenfell leading by that point, 8 points to 7. Both sides have scored one try, and in the second half, Tygerberg will have a hefty win behind their back. The tips of those trees should show you just how hard this wind is blowing. It really is extreme commentary and extreme rugby that's taking place. We're taking a look at some of the stats. What do you think, Gavin?
Yeah, those missed tackles as well are just not good news for Tygerberg, but you know, into the wind that can sometimes happen. So the key thing is what the message was at halftime from the respective coaches. And you know, Tygerberg will want to play territory to start with and just grind down that pack of forwards of Brackenfell, who I think have had the upper hand up until now, but they were maybe losing it a little bit by halftime.
Brackenfell will certainly be feeling the heat. They had all the play in that first half, did not convert enough pressure into points rather. And Tygerberg have the opportunity to make use in the second half. What a fascinating 35 minutes it ought to be. Brackenfell also a man down for the start of the second half. Got a yellow card right at the end. Sean Gordon launches it high. Part of that counter-attacking break, which led to Tygerberg's try, bringing them back into this match. A penalty try it was eventually, after an infringement on the line from Brackenfell. In particular, the number 7, Sean Truter. And Brackenfell are first in possession here in the second half, Justin DeToy in particular. Charles Pretorius had a great first half at the set piece and at open play. Gets his hands on the ball again. Brackenfell working the play very well early on. That's Jamie Linus. Jordan continues to give a fantastic account of himself in the 9 jersey. You can see by his height how he could play in the 10 and 15 jersey as well. In the winds, keeps hitting the break basket time after time. That is a very dangerous pass in windy and wet conditions. In your own 22-meter line.
Fine, I've got it, thank you.
And Brackenfell paid the price. It will be a scrum to Tygerberg.
I've got it.
I think Raven Smith might have liked to have had a player a little bit closer to him there. He had to launch that long pass, and that's not a wise thing, as you say, on a day like today. So this is a great field position, this for Tygerberg, to try and get some early points in the second half.
Everywhere you look, more evidence of the difficult weather conditions,
okay, so
shall we
scrums
say.
on this guy, you make sure that you scrum correctly, okay?
Well, we will remind you, Cape Town's not always like this. The sun is coming. Do come down and enjoy your holiday in Cape Town.
Rain is a blessing in Africa. We don't mind.
Crouch.
And certainly down here after the drought conditions of last summer.
Set.
So if you do come down for that holiday, do be water wise. Here is Tygerberg. Does seem that Strydom regularly plays in the 9 position, and Hoy standing at fly off on that occasion. Here's Chris on September beating a number of defenders and still moving towards the try line. Brackenfell defenders all around, holding him up off the ground, over the line. It will be a 5-meter scrum to Tygerberg. Gavin, perhaps we're already seeing the dominance that Tygerberg might be exerting in the second half with that wind at their back.
Yeah, you know, they've got they've got a decent pack of forwards that really need to just up their game a little bit more, and I'm sure that they're going to do that. And their halfbacks look like they can potentially, with the wind at their back, also make use of it like Brackenfell did in the first half. But I think these scrums are going to become absolutely key here. Brackenfell know that they can't kick into the wind because it's not going to go anywhere, but they don't have the put in right now.
Both going in, okay? Both going in.
And of course, without a number 8 on either side, of course, for the scrum, because the numbers need to be equal, you haven't got a man that can pick up and drive from there. So your scrum half comes into the play, and this is where obviously Jordan needs to do his bit. Get Sean Gordon and his backs into motion.
Straight on clears for Tygerberg. Spaces straight down the center of the field. Sean Gordon capitalizing with the 10 on his back for Tygerberg. Strikes back in the derby, and Tygerberg take the lead.
Well, a good scrum here from Tygerberg. They did the necessaries. They made 100% sure of it. And it wasn't a great pass out from there. Also, it was one of those lengthy passes. There wasn't a player close by, but Sean Gordon did really well to hang on to it and get over. No problem with a conversion from September.
September lists his goal in life is to be a superstar, and he's well on the way with kicks like that.
Yeah, this is really good play, this from Gordon. Got the little pickup and he held on long enough. He was looking for some support, which was the right thing to do, but he realized that he could make it himself.
Well, the bouncing pass can often wrong foot defenses. On that occasion, Brackenfell were not able to hold on for even one phase from the set piece. They have a job on their hands here in the second half. Strong restart. That is from Brendan Deirdrichs. Running right back at them now is Vian Julies. Pardon me, that's Jesse Basson for Tygerberg. That pass is looping over the head of his fly half Gordon from Tygerberg, and Hoy on the outside. He seems to be doing full-time work in the back line now, Hoy.
Knock on. Yes.
A lot of carrying of the ball there by Tygerberg. I think really Sean Gordon has got to take this game into his hands, as does Hannah Jordan, and just say, look, when we've got this ball and we're in a kicking position, we've got to kick it down for the corner, and that's the near corner here, because there are 14 men still at the moment, and you know that's the tragedy with the yellow card of Trita. That's making things doubly difficult for Brackenfell.
Just give us space here, please.
Gavin, another thing I'm thinking is the way that Deirdrichs took that kickoff. It shows that it's not impossible to kick into this wind. If you kick across into this left corner, perhaps. Well, Brackenfell with their hands on the ball now. Raven Smith will be happy to be on the front foot again. That pass inside from Wolfhard was very flat. Tygerberg attacking this breakdown, but Brackenfell do protect. Breaking away is Jamie Linus. Smith, Deirdrichs in the back line, wrapped up and driven backwards by Vian Meyer. Superb defense. Brackenfell retained possession. This will be absolutely golden for them. So important that they hold on to the ball here, especially with their man down. Let the clock count down and perhaps secure themselves some points. Right now they trail by 6.
Pillar defense, offsides, 8 and 6.
And a penalty comes their way. What is the option here?
Oh, there's good pressure at the breakdown there as well. The pillar defense offside by Tygerberg, and they're looking to try and get that ball towards the corner flag there. And I think one of their missions really now with their 14 men is to try and keep Tygerberg in their own half of the field. Tygerberg have really got to make use of the boot too, and they just seem to be wanting to run with the ball in the second half. They've got to change that tactic and kick it deep downfield.
Might be the same. Right there, right there.
Charles Pretorius feeds, no contest from Tygerberg. Off the fingertips, Brackenfell barely retaining possession there, but retain they do. And Hanno Jordan feeds it to his back line, Markune Titus. Tackle made, therefore he must be released. Brackenfell continue here with Justin DeToy.
No hands!
Jordan thinks about left, Heads right, not the best pass you'll ever see, and as a result, his backline under pressure. Hoy picks up the turnover ball for Tygerberg. Still on their own 10-meter line. With a chip over the top, Diedrichs must feel this under enormous pressure from the captain, Diachar. He does not, and it opens up one time here for Tygerberg. Grissom September capitalizing over the line for the try.
Well, getting the ball behind your opposition is vital on a day like today. The bounce makes it very, very awkward and very difficult. And September, lovely to see the fullback right up with play and a clean run-in for him too.
Running free September, that is the dream on Derby Day. When he got sleep last night, whatever sleep he did get, he would be dreaming of just that. Charging over the line for the try and a joyful smile. The final game of the season for both these sides. They've got to cherish every moment. Brackenfell will be stunned by the way this match has turned on them. They were heading towards the half-time break with an 8-point lead. But now, Tygerberg are in full control. Oh, the reverse swing almost coming off for Grissom September. He could not pull it off, and the scoreline remains 19 points to 8.
Well, there's a confidence about the team in green and gold now. We can absolutely see that. It was a wonderful little kick, little chip kick, and the two fullbacks very much in play there. The one with a little knockback, and then the attacking option for September.
Diedrichs launching it as far as possible once more. Fielded by Ejida Meyer. Cleared by Sean Gordon. That straight into the breadbasket of Sean Truter, back onto the field from his yellow card. Charging forward, but well tackled by HD Stemmet. Jordan. A dummy from Charles Pretorius. Brackenfell struggling to find holes in the Tygerberg defense here in the second half. Marcune Titus throwing out the palm to Hoy. Brackenfell continue moving forward, but it is broken play for Brackenfell here in the second half. Desperation starting to enter the style of this Brackenfell play.
Yeah, a little bit of wastage there with that sunny ball pass into touch, and you know, the ball once again belonging to Tygerberg, who really, I think, are starting to grow in stature now in this early in the second half.
Another difficult feed pulled off by Oakley Conyers, and Tygerberg do use the wind to their advantage. Sean Gordon launching it, and Diedrichs, after a bit of a juggle, bringing it under control. That is running into the face of a player with space around him, and Diedrichs pays the price, tackled into touch. What a tackle from Jesse Bassan.
Well, we've seen two kicks now from Tygerberg, and they haven't been the best, but it doesn't matter though. You get it deep into the opposition half of the field, and immediately things start happening.
In possession again.
Offsides, number 4.
And a penalty comes the way of Brackenfell. Tygerberg have been asked to make far more tackles in this game. And the vast majority of those will have been during the first half. We're 10 minutes into the second now. Tygerberg upping the tempo. Here's Hoy. And Tandile Hoy does not appear to be playing in scrum half today. That gentleman with the 11 on his back, Byron Straydom, is taking all the responsibilities of the halfback. Enormous pressure on Brackenfell with every possession. On that occasion, it is Vian Julies getting tackled backwards. And now some space for Brackenfell to run into, especially Marcune Titus. Frightening pace that Titus has, but he is reeled in by more special defense on this Derby day. The passion is evident from both of these sides.
On that occasion, a high tackle, that's the reason for the penalty.
No time to slow down for Brackenfell. They have 11 points to make up. They have less than 25 minutes in which to achieve that goal. Here's Jordan. Diedrichs dummying, seeing that the Tygerberg defensive line is advancing, so he takes them on and he beats a number. A lanky fullback for Brackenfell. Diedrichs making crucial meters, crossing the gain line. Brackenfell with ball in hand, growing in confidence. Justin DeToy on this occasion, and it's Jordan again to clear from the base. Big contact right next to the rack. Uncompromising stuff from both Tygerberg and Brackenfell all through this match.
Number 2 offsides.
Seems to be a penalty every couple of phases whenever a team starts racking up some forward momentum, most of them for offsides.
2 offsides.
Yeah, we've had a lot of penalties during the course of this match. That time it was Charles Pretorius, the captain of Brackenfell, who was offside.
What went on there? Whatever the case, we are back underway. Brackenfell continue with possession. Jordan clears, approaching the 22-meter line of Tygerberg, but not with passes like that.
Sides 21.
Incredible.
Side.
In fact, not Jan DeToy, it was actually Conyers who was actually offside. My apologies to him.
Time out, put the ball down. Captain 21.
And good that Jonathan Kaplan's going to talk to them.
Captain. Offside. There's too many happening around here. Okay, guys have to get back behind the last feet.
Was it Academy Week this year? Their captain,
Yeah,
Edgar de
Tom.
Meyer.
Where you are.
He's been very influential out there today for Tygerberg. As hard as he can, launching the ball towards the touchline and into the wind. It almost got pushed back, but Raven Smith will breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, they're back to 15 men again, you know, and they seem to have lost the confidence of their ball-carrying ability amongst their forwards, Brackenfell, so they've gone for the line-out option, which hasn't always worked that well for them. But the most important thing for them is that they're up to the 22, and they really need to be the next team to post points.
Short ball, perhaps a wise option in this strong wind. The execution was perfect as well from Brackenfell. Charles Pretorius involved again. The captain has been oh so impressive for the home side today. Struggling to get this ball away from that breakdown, losing that dominance at breakdown they had in the first half.
He's down, he's down.
Justin DeToy takes it into contact again, gets a knee to ground. Brackenfell set another rack. Dylan Fouchier spreading the ball is Diedrichs. And that's Volvaart. Space on the outside. Smith now running, need to cut back. It all gets a touch scrappy for Brackenfell, and they sacrifice possession after traveling the length of the field over the course of the last 5 minutes. This is not territory which is easily gained, and so it should not be easily relinquished.
Advantage.
Interesting, though, advantage from that situation. Referees love to call advantage over when the kick is in the air, but we will go back for a scrum to Tygerberg. 20 minutes left in this one, Gavin. Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it was a fair call that from Jonathan Kaplan. Just have a look at those handling errors. You know, we haven't seen that many in this match today. Both teams have tried to move the ball when they get the opportunity to, but it's got to be all about kicking for Tygerberg now. They've got a good solid lead, you know, with those 11 points. And the Brackenfell scrum, as we can see there, has really stood well during the course of this match. With Tygerberg, I've also mentioned that before, have grown in confidence.
Fighting to get in there for the ball is Strydom. Makeshift halfback for Tygerberg, or perhaps always their plan. What a tackle that is, as Chris September chopped down just outside his own try line. This is not where Tygerberg want to be playing this game. Brackenfell recognized that, and they are piling in. Every member of their school shouting their praises, and they do turn the ball over. Dangerous play from Tygerberg may have cost them here. Jordan dummies almost found a gap and went through. He's shown patience all game long. Another shining light for this Brackenfell side, wrestling their way back to ground now. Securing another ruck, and Jordan sends it to Diedrichs. Diedrichs skips out his number 10 and is with Volvaart. Volvaart is marked up. Raven Smith sees a gap. Off to Diedrichs again. Loose, and adjudged to be a knock-on. Brackenfell will be desperately disappointed.
Good defensive work there by Tygerberg. I just don't, maybe if Sean Gordon has a relook at this match, he'll say, well, you know, maybe I should have kicked that ball and not try to run it from my 22. I've got the wind at my back, let me make use of it where I can. So he's going to get another opportunity now with the scrum down.
Bind. Sit.
Brackenfell wheeling that scrum significantly, but we will set again.
Lucia, just be careful there. Angle.
Gavin Jordan made a break straight down the center from one of those rucks there, but then Brackenfell seemed to be spreading the ball wide before they've worked hard enough to ensure that there's some gaps on the outside right now. That's why I'm saying I feel like they're a bit desperate.
Well, I think there is an element of that a little bit too, you know, and you've really got to earn those the width of the field on a day, especially on a day like today. And, you know, their pack of forwards has looked very useful during the course of today. Yeah, they've just won a tight head as well.
Oh, so useful. They have proven, almost losing control of it there, Sean Truter. And eventually they do lose control going back towards the touchline. They really need some level heads out there. They need to slow this match down. It's just 11 points between the two sides, Gavin.
Yeah, they've got to use their pack, maybe just tighten it up a little bit where they can. There's too many 50-50 passes, and you know they've got to make sure that they dominate possession for the rest of this match. Otherwise, they're not going to win it.
Knock on or just the line out? Just the line out. Step, please.
Foot up, foot up, foot up.
Charles Pretorius. Can he continue his great form? Yes, he can. Perhaps the best line-out of the afternoon from either side. And they set the rolling maul to Brackenfell. Tygerberg surely offsides. Brackenfell do not hold that in that maul, which was advancing. They still have another advantage coming their way as the plethora of penalties continues to reign in this match. And Brackenfell is advancing with Dylan Fouchier. Jordan again, blind to Sean Truter. Truter moving forward, getting to ground very wisely as the touchline was approaching. It's Jordan again. Moving forward, Justin Dutoy. Advancing towards the Tygerberg line. This is Deirdrickse. How much longer can the Tigers hold out as the Bruckies continue to pile on the pressure? Double blast on the whistle. Are we going to see another yellow card, this time to Tygerberg?
Put the ball down. Put the ball down. Captain. There's 3 different offsides. 1, 2, 3. It's the third one. I did warn you about it, okay?
This is going to make it very interesting. Very, very interesting there with Raiden Phillips off the field. So they're down to 14 for a large portion of the rest of this match. And it might make it really difficult for them to hold on. This will be a true test of the Tigers' character.
Coaches must be pulling their hair out, Kevin. They must be saying, kick the ball downfield, let the wind carry it. Tygerberg find themselves here in the corner. Charles Pretorius feeds again. Another perfect lineup for Brackenfell. No!
Number 3. In front. Number 1. Sorry, number 3.
It's a straight arm penalty for obstruction at the line-out.
Well, he's had a really good second half, Justin Dutoy. He's carried the ball well. He's shown he's got a lot of pepper as well. On that occasion, in the line-out, he was pushing a man, so Tygerberg get the chance now of getting out of their half of the field. Well, they haven't done a great job with that, to be honest.
Taking the man out ahead of the catcher.
Incredible. You can see there, number 3, Justin Dutoy, reaching his arm out, initiating the contact instead of securing the ball carrier for his own side. Tygerberg still have plenty of work here, and they've missed their jumper. Charles Pretorius, captain of Brackenfell, charging forward. That is the 22-meter line behind the Brackenfell side now, and the aforementioned Justin Dutoy continues his hard work, but possession is in the hands of Tygerberg. And Chrism September fancies himself with some footwork, running back at Brackenfell. Boots the ball, surely the tonic for Tygerberg, and they send it downfield. Deep inside the Brackenfell half now, that's their own 10-meter line, and crossing the halfway is Raven Smith. Smith with a fantastic pass to Arno Wolfhard. But Wolfhard is dominated in the contact. And into touch goes Wolfhard. Tygerberg, their defense continues to shine through.
Just give me a time check, please.
With the man off the field, the visiting side in green and gold continue to hold on to their 11-point lead. Stolen in the tackle by Charles Pretorius. He is all over this rugby match. Jordan again, and Justin Dutoy once more. Turned over by Tygerberg at the breakdown again in the second half. Brackenfell were all over the breakdown in the first, and in the second it has been Tygerberg making turnover after turnover. Marcune Titus all the way back to receive this extremely dangerous ball runner. Wrapped up by the first defender.
He's down, he's down, he's down.
Knee down to the floor. That's why referee Kaplan is saying he's down. Therefore, the Tygerberg players must release and they cannot continue to hold. Marcune Titus up in the air. Brackenfell taking a walk on the wild side here, out wide. No support. Again, the player gets his knee to ground and they must set the rack. But look at the territorial gain which Tygerberg have achieved since Brackenfell were knocking on their door for so many minutes consecutively. Deirdrickson, he's coming into the back line regularly now as the number 15 for Brackenfell. Here's Marcune Titus trying to make something happen on the left wing again. Seldom much space for Titus to work it, but when you do give him space, he is electrifyingly quick. What a riveting derby we have here. Inclement weather conditions defining the play, but that play has been exciting. Both sides giving it their all in this hotly contested derby. Charging in there, George Olivier. And now they can work it to the back line, and Raven Smith got it away to Andreas, who could not get his path away. Here's Smith again. That loopy pass has been intercepted. And Tygerberg breathe once more. What an extended period of play this is, but Brackenfell have it back on their side now. Jordan, breathless stuff from both these sides. Deirdrick's off to Charles Pretorius. We're playing advantage for a high tackle. Tygerberg still have a player in the sin bin, so they're a man down, making this defensive effort all the more spectacular. The hands are wonderful between back line and forward there. Jamie Linus involved for Brackenfell. Marcune Titus goes to ground again. Jordan past the 22-meter line. Deirdrick's. Justin Dutoy. Look how hard Brackenfell have had to work to get into the 22-meter line of Tygerberg, and they've done it again, time after time in this half, but they have not been able to convert once they get to the red zone. And Raven Smith trying to rectify that, almost saw a gap. When was the last time we had a stoppage in play? These players must be out on their feet. Jordan back to the open side. Here's the captain, courageous Charles Pretorius, never taking a backward step, seemingly exceedingly fit. Hard angle from Brackenfell, moving to the 5-meter line now. Jordan disrupted by a player who was apparently onside.
He's down, roll!
But back to the 5-meter line straight away. Tygerberg, surely the defensive shoulders are getting tired. We're past the 10 phase mark. It feels like even longer than that. Here they come, breaking for the line. Linus trying to get it down. And finally, everybody can take a breather. Gavin, what a period of play.
Yeah, I tell you, hats off to these young men for being able to carry the ball through so many phases without any breakdowns. There was a penalty advantage that was accruing for Brackenfell, but ultimately brilliant play by those 30 men on the field at the moment. An excellent effort. Brackenfell really have got to get some points now. It's almost like you feel they're coming, but they're not quite there, and they've just got to make sure that they don't have those speculative passes. I think that's where they've lost the initiative a few times, with those speculative passes that have gone, you know, to the opposition.
Really making meters whenever they hold onto the ball. But what an exciting time of the game we are entering now. 9 minutes left to play. Brackenfell camped outside Tygerberg's line. 11 points separating these two sides. It will require 2 scores from the home side to claim this derby, the 10th derby of its kind.
Just keep the scrumming, okay? Crouch. Bind. Just break up, please. When they've got a player off, you have to go out. Okay?
Building the tension, Jonathan Kaplan, as we peck the scrum down once more.
Out, okay? We're wasting time, let's go. Crouch. Bind. Sit. Wait there, wait there.
With the player still in the sin bin, Tygerberg defend their line. This is Jordan charging at the line, Sean Truter. Jordan again, working the blind through Charles Pretorius. Fighting for the line, Rikus Neethling presents it backwards. Tygerberg trying their best to disrupt Brackenfell ball. Plenty of complaints.
16.
Oh, here we go again. Here we go again.
You got a penalty. penalty there for the dangerous tackle. Okay, just wait. Captain, there's a high tackle over there, and there's number 16 over there, so we're looking at pocket again, okay? Okay, we're going to go here for the dangerous tackle.
Oh, we are looking at the pocket.
Wait, I'll give you time.
But we did not go there. Interesting call.
Hey, a date. Go in front of me.
This is old school. This is old school. Tap and go, Charles Pretorius. All the fours lining up next to one another, but Tygerberg draw a line in the sand and they say no more. No more. They've thwarted them at the most pivotal of times.
No, that's brilliant defensive work by Tygerberg. Really, they're under the cosh there, the tap and go. I just wondered whether they were actually going to rather try and scrum down against them, you know, and keep more players involved around the ball and open up some space for them. But that's the option they took, which hasn't worked for them.
Quickly out of the scrum from Tygerberg, and wisely so. They will not put boot to ball. They're going to run it back at them. Jesse Basson crossing the 10-meter line of Tygerberg. What an exit this has proven to be thus far. Looking for some gaps, but really showing that there were no gaps there whatsoever. Sean Gordon, and here's Tandile Oi. He does turn to the boots, and this is Titus again. Titus trying to start a counter-attack. This time he gets past the first, second, third, and fourth men. What a crucial tackle. Just as Marquis Titus was starting to cause some real trouble for Tygerberg. Brackenfell, they've not given up the faith. They really need to score soon, because 2 scores are what they need to overcome in this derby. The tireless Charles Pretorius carries once more for the boys in gold and blue and red. Jordan securing quick ball for Brackenfell again. Jamie Linus charging in, he loses control, and forward it goes. Another knock on. These players have got to be out on their feet, Kevin.
You've got to give credit to Tygerberg. You know, they haven't conceded a single point in the second half, and it's been through some courageous defense and some good organization from them, so credit to them. But Brackenfell, as you said, are not going to give up until the final whistle.
Check with Ben.
Gavin Caldy is a very busy man, and he will now be heading off to Newlands, where Western Province will be doing battle in the Currie Cup for the final moments of this game. Tygerberg will have to hold on tooth and nail, and the Tigers certainly have plenty of both of those. The teeth and claws of the Tigers have shown today, and they continue to lead by 11 points. It was all that action surrounding half-time when Tygerberg scored against the odds, went all the way upfield and got themselves a penalty try. That's when the turnaround began. That's gone straight into touch. What an error that may prove to be by fly of Sean Gordon.
16 off.
Finally back to their full complement of Tygerberg. Raiden Phillips making his way back onto the pitch. Such an influential ball runner in the first half was Raiden Phillips. And if the weather conditions were tough before, the clouds have once again rolled over and the rain continues to fall. You can see it accumulating on the lenses of our cameras. But these young men are not done. As Jordan away to Dietrichs. Charging in the center field again, Jamie Linus. But the Tygerberg defense drives them backwards each time. Dylan Fouchier in the 6th jersey, flirting with the touchline. Did he keep it in field? No, he did not. How many times today will they make that mistake, Brackenfell? In the first half, it was the right wing, Vian Julies, who was dancing on the touchline far too often. But this time, dragged into touch is Dylan Fouchier. Yet another scrappy line out. That's the way it's been all day. And dragged into touch again. High tackle was the call from Jonathan Kaplan, and it is a penalty to Tygerberg. And that is absolutely golden. Pressure stuff. They tap and go. Sean Gordon with a wild pass to Hoy. Choosing to hold on to ball rather than kick. September sends a wild one to the touchline. What is going on with Tygerberg right now? This can't be the tactic, surely. Time ticking down on the clock. They're just giving Brackenfell more opportunities to have one last chance at winning this match, as unlikely as it may be at this point. 3 minutes to play now. But what are Tygerberg thinking with the howling wind blowing at their back? Why would you not launch it downfield? And asked the question of Mark Hugh Titus. Down on the ground receiving treatment is JP Matia. Each and every player from this Tygerberg side is given their all today. Picked up by his captain, Edja de Meyer. Given the pat on the back and say one more time into the fray, young lads. 2.5 minutes of the FNB Classic Clashes season remain. What a journey it has been. From grassroots to greatness, without a doubt. All the way from schoolboy through varsity cup to the Springboks. FNB supports rugby from the root to the fruit of South African rugby.
Same again. If anything, legs slipped out, number 1, number 3.
Some bad blood between the two number 6s, Dylan Forshia and JP Matia. The weather continues to get worse and worse out there. The wind is blowing harder and the rain continues to fall more strongly. Must be said that both supporters, both sets of supporters, the pupils, have been jumping and singing all afternoon long in spite of the rain blowing into their faces. Breaking blind through Jordan. And back into the game finally is Vihan Julies. We have not seen much of him in the second half. Maul calls. The body position was wrong from Julies, and Tygerberg hold him up off the ground. Is that the turnover of possession that decides this derby?
Strong green. No, 2 minutes.
Rising up and held up by a flood of Tygerberg players. There was no chance they were letting him get to ground. Look at that reaction from Tygerberg. HD Stammet, he is pumped up.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
With less than a minute to play, Brackenfell clear from the scrum. Deirdricks, who seems to be playing in the 10 position in the second half, spread wide by Wolfhard. And this is Titus. Titus, driven back again, has not been able to make his presence felt in this match. Hands on the ball from Tygerberg. They cannot secure the turnover, but time has almost certainly run out on Brackenfell now. Deirdricks tackled well behind the gain line. In fact, all the way back on the 10-meter line of Tygerberg now as their defense continues to hold out throughout this second half. Although they've built some of their own mountains which they've had to climb by not using the wind to their advantage, they can be very proud of what they've pulled off today. It looked like it was all Brackenfell in the first half, but Tygerberg held on doggedly, or tigerishly, if you will, and eventually got themselves a penalty try before the end of the first half. And then here in the second, they have stretched away while Brackenfell had a man on the bench with a yellow card. Another penalty comes the way of Brackenfell. They are not done, even though the clock has gone red. Desperate to draw this derby closer. They are 8 points behind, and as such, 2 scores away, and a penalty goes against Brackenfell on their home ground. Have Tygerberg put this one in the bag. Great sportsmanship from the captain, Edja de Meyer, picking up opposition player Mark Hugh Titus and giving him a pat on the back. Kicking for touch from the penalty. It may be the case that once again we have some discrepancies with our clock and that of Jonathan Kaplan. We will have the line out, and it is in the favor of Tygerberg. It would appear that this match is safe now for the lads in green and gold. Another turnover at line-out time. And that is the final whistle. It's all over, and Tygerberg claim the honors here on Derby Day. Match number 10 between these two schools. Win number 7 for the Tigers. And the Bruckies will go home with their tails between their legs. On their home ground, they could not pull it off. And look at the joy of the traveling fans. Tygerberg have come away from home, overturning a 58-0 defeat last year. They were hammered. They've come back and they've made things good away from home. 3 tries to 1, Tygerberg win, 19 points to 8.